Hey everyone, I'm Katie Daryl, and today we are at home and social with the lovely Rita Wilson. Hello, Rita.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
I'm really good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right?
It really is.
Hey, listen, Beach Life is right around the corner, and I know you're going to be performing. This is a great outdoor festival in Redondo Beach, California. A lot of great names on this bill. I need to brag for a minute. It's you, along with 311, Stone Temple Pilots, Weezer, Steve Miller, Vance Joy, Modest Yahoo. Hello. Are you someone that you show up and you bounce around and kind of go check out who's playing, or do you kind of have to stay in the mode in your dressing room?
No, totally. I make sure that I try to see as many acts as I can. That's what's so much fun about a festival, is that you can see so many acts. And I will like have my performance, and then I'll go change into something really comfortable, like your basic crop top and fringe jacket and cowboy boot. No,
Exactly. Grab your glow sticks,
you're
and
not
that's
gonna see
Rita.
me in anything cropped, that's for sure.
When you are performing, what is the 10 minutes before you take the stage like? Walk us through that 10 minutes prior.
Well, the 10 minutes before is really like you've done all the work already. And that's just a waiting period. I'm always early, so I'm always like ready ahead of time. And because I just like to be prepared. So usually it's just kind of standing around and making sure that you're double checking. Like I remember once at a festival, it was called Lake Shake in Chicago, that I went on stage. We had plenty of time, but I went on stage, and the guy whose job it was to make sure my mic was turned on and my in-ears were turned on just didn't quite do it. So you come out on the stage and you're like, yeah, let's get this show on the road. And you pick up your mic, nothing comes out. That was not so fun. So I'm very prepared in making sure my mic is turned on, my in-ears are turned on, if I'm using in-ear monitors, and basically it's just hanging out. I always do a circle before we go on with my band, and just a little prayer of gratitude for being able to do what we do, and to perform, and hopefully spread some joy.
Are you I've memorized my set list type of person, or do you have it on the paper taped on the ground?
If there could be a huge Times Square chyron that says everything that I need to know, I would be very, very happy with that.
Because in the middle, you have to be like, I need to pull out my readers real quick.
Like, excuse me. No, literally, I have to have a paper set list. I have to have a digital set list. I have to have, sometimes I look at my musical director, Andrew, and I look at him and I'm like, what's next? Like, even though it's in front of me, I don't know. I don't know, but it's okay. I mean, like that's part of the process. Is some people have it down, but I mix up my set lists a lot too. So there's nothing that's really, I don't repeat them. So that's why, there's always something new that we're adding.
Festivals are a place for surprises, right? Surprise guests to come on stage, or even surprise cover songs. Do you ever like to do that to your audience, where you throw in something that they're not expecting from you?
Yeah, definitely. I love doing that. My first album, AM/FM, was all cover songs. So I like to throw out something from that album, which there was some really good stuff on there. And one of the ones I really like to do is Angel of the Morning, because everybody knows Angel of the Morning. The song was written in the 60s, and then Juice Newton did it in the 80s. And, it's kind of one of those power ballad things. So I love pulling out that one. And you've given me good food for thought. Like, what should I be pulling out? What kind of cover song could I be doing it?
Exactly. The Beach Life fans are waiting.
Yes. And by the way, I'm born and raised in Hollywood, California. And so it's really fun for me to go down to Redondo in the South Bay and do a show down there, because some of my very, very early shows were done at a place that I think, met the COVID demise, called Saint Rock, which was
I love that place.
I know it's no longer there. It makes me so sad, but I think somehow the owner of that is involved in the BeachLife Festival. So if that's the case, I'm really thankful, because at least there's still music down there. in the
Now,
Southwest.
obviously, it's great to play in, your hometown is essentially because, it is kind of the 30-mile zone, if you will. But there's a lot of people that are asking for free comp tickets then. So how do you, right? Don't you end up having a lot of people that are like, oh, I'll come on down. Do you have any tickets? And you're like, yeah, you're the 20th person.
Totally. I try to do my best. I try to accommodate everybody, but sometimes you can't, which is a drag. But it's really, I mean, you want your friends there as much as you can. You want to have people that out in the audience. It's always really fun to have your friends there.
For those of you just joining us, I'm Katie Daryl, and she is Rita Wilson. We are at Home and Social. Rita, your music has been described as uplifting and, quite frankly, very helpful. And specifically, I want to talk about your shirt brings me to the conversation. The song "Pink." Let's dive into this a little bit. This is a song that helps support breast cancer research, correct?
Yep. Victoria Shaw wrote it. And with two other amazing writers, Jody Marr and Erin Kinsey. And I literally can say that I have performed with Dolly Parton. So, because Dolly's in the song, Monica is in the song, Jordan Sparks, Sarah Evans. And it's really a song that talks about that, the wish for one day pink just being another color and not being associated with breast cancer, of which I am a survivor.
I mean, in the recording studio, when you're doing a song that is not only helpful to other people, but I'm sure, so something that your soul connects to because having survived this, are there a lot of emotions? Is there a day where a moment in the recording studio where you have to take a break because the reflecting is getting too heavy on you, or were you able to kind of compartmentalize?
Sometimes, yes, absolutely. You do get, you do have a remembrance, it's now I'm 7 years clean and it feels like I'm, a little bit further removed from it, but only removed in it in the sense that it doesn't weigh on your mind all the time.
Yeah.
But, when you're in the studio and you're coming up with a lyric in particular, you can definitely put yourself back there in that moment. And, it's always then resolved by just being thankful and grateful. And, the other song that I wrote, that's actually probably one of my most popular songs is called Throw Me a Party.
I love this one. It's a tearjerker. It'll get you.
The video is really a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Patrick Tracy, who's nominated every year for tons of video awards. He was our director. And that song really came about because in I guess the year after I had breast cancer and had bilateral mastectomy, I had a writing camp and I wrote that song with Christian Bush from the band Sugarland and Liz Rose, who's responsible for so many songs of Taylor Swift's first 4 albums and also Girl Crush and, you name it. She's got hits up the wazoo. And we wrote this song, which was basically inspired by, I had said to my husband when, I was like diagnosed and you have those conversations and I was like, okay, if I go before you, I have 2 requests. One is that you're very sad, very, very sad for a very long time.
I want you to ugly cry.
Yeah, ugly cry, where people are like, oh, boy. And then the second one was, throw me a party and make it a fun one and have my friends there and let's all sing songs and make it like a music festival and whatever. And so that song, Throw Me a Party, is really about how people, how I want to be sent off. And it's interesting because so many people have reached out to me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram and have thanked me for that song and have said that they have played it at so many of their celebrations of life or memorials or things, because a lot of people have said that to them. Like, listen, when I go, throw me a party. And so I didn't realize that, you think you're writing something that's very personal, but it actually ends up being a much more common sort of occurrence than you would have thought.
For those of you just joining us, I'm Katie Daryl. She is Rita Wilson. We are at home and social. Now, Rita is going to be performing at the BeachLife Festival May 13th through 15th. It's a big weekend, so make sure you catch all the acts and make sure you head out there to see Rita specifically. But Rita, you're more than just a singer. You're more than just a songwriter. You are a producer. You are an actress. You are a mother. You're juggling a lot. And in this year, 2022, what excites you? Which profession, which description excites you the most? Having come out of everything that we've all experienced in the last 2 years, which one are you most excited to have your mask off and participate in?
I love that. Look, I think it's all exciting and it's all fun. I feel really happy about the work that I've been able to do this year and the work that I have been able to put out there. So I have a new album coming out, which is going to be announced very soon. And I'm really excited about that. And I can't wait to really share all of that with you guys. And then I have this movie that I'm producing right now called A Man Called Otto, which is based on a best-selling novel called A Man Called Ova. And it's a Swedish book that was really incredible. And we're making an American version of that movie, of that book. And
Yeah.
And then I have some stuff that I've acted in that's coming out that I'm excited about as well. So it's all really fun. But look, I'm very focused and very I know how to use my time wisely. And I think that's really important. I'm also an empty nester. Like, you have a little one. You know how busy it is when you have a little one. You can't really do much other than what you have your time for. So, when your time opens up, it really becomes a different phase and a different period of your life. I'm really thankful to have that and be able to be creative. And I'm not alone. So many other people I know are finding that in their lives as well. It's kind of a blossoming of creativity.
Growing up, what music was on the turntable? What cassettes did you have? What vinyls did you have?
Oh, I love this question. Well, when I was very little, it was the Beatles. There was a woman who lived up the street from us. She worked at Capitol Records. And when the Beatles would put out an album, she would bring us the album that day. It was so cool. And so we always had the Beatles, number one. And on the radio, my mom loved music. So she always had the radio on, and it was always, pop radio, AM radio. And there would be times where we'd be driving around and the radio would be on and she would say something in her Greek accent, like, that song is going to be a hit. And she was always right, So I grew up listening to, Beach Boys, Beatles, Stevie Wonder, The Temptations, Diana Ross, Jethro Tull, you name it, Led Zeppelin, Linda Ronstadt, Joni Mitchell, Carole King, of course.
Sure.
It was really like everything. There was so much that we could be exposed to when I was growing up, like just by listening to AM radio. And now I feel like you have to seek that out. There isn't like one place that you go that plays all different sorts of genres. Although I think Little Stevie's Underground Garage does that. And Garth Brooks' channel on Sirius XM plays music from all genres and all periods. So that's kind of cool.
I want to talk about guilty pleasures, because I think you
That's
allowed.
That's a good name for a band. Guilty Pleasures.
No, you're responsible.
Name, Rita Wilson and the Guilty Pleasures. My band has never had a name. I think I should give them that.
And you guys just get to eat sheet cake.
Yes, exactly.
No, you allowed people to come out and say, I love ABBA. I love ABBA, because thanks to you, you were one of the producers on Mamma Mia. First off, do you have a favorite ABBA song? Before the movie versus after the movie, right?
Oh, wow. God, well, Waterloo, everybody loves Waterloo. I mean, you can't. Fernando, I love Dancing Queen. I mean, those were all great. And they, were nominated for a Grammy this year for Best Album, because they have a new album coming out, that came out, which is so amazing.
What a treat.
But the Mamma Mia thing, I'm so thankful for that, because look, I try to find things, Katie, that I believe put joy into the world. I feel like the stuff that I want to be involved with has to somehow do that, bring people joy. And that's kind of like a template that I use. And it's my little barometer for what I feel is something that I could become involved in. So seeing that musical when it had only been out in the theaters for like, the theatrical theaters in London for 2 or 3 weeks, and then immediately starting the process of trying to get the rights to make it into a movie, that was, almost immediate. So it took us 5 years to get to that point to actually start making the movie, but I'm glad that we were in there and that we got to do it.
We are at Home and Social with Rita Wilson. You've got 4 albums, 3 EPs. Sounds like there's one on the horizon coming out. But then you have this live show, Liner Notes, where you get on stage and you talk to an audience about the songs and bring up some of the writers and the people that have performed these things with you. Do you share 100%, or are there just certain things that you're like, but this nugget, is it like the Goonies? This one, I'm taking it. This one's mine. Are there secret things in the songs that you're like, I will not share that story. I'm not going to make you tell me.
No, we share everything. That's what's so amazing. So Liner Notes, just so you know, is singer-songwriters or just songwriters in the round singing their own songs. And I sort of curate it by asking them questions and coming to them with research about them as people and also them and their songs. And I'm always learning something new from the songwriters, even if I've worked with them before, to that is new to their songwriting process or to that particular song. And that is what's so amazing, that sometimes songs come from accidental places, sometimes they come from deep personal experiences, and sometimes they come from something just made up in the room, but there's always truth to them. And I think that's what, when you're talking about the nugget, it's like, what's really the truth to this moment and to this song? And that's what we get to in Liner Notes. And people who come to see the live show always leave there saying, I felt like it was in somebody's living room and hearing a conversation that I never thought I'd be privy to. And that's what I love, because it's not like your typical slick sort of conversation. It's really, and songwriters talk to each other, and we make jokes, we have fun, we, have a really good time. There's a lot of humor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of those as well.
Songs can come to you at any time of day, obviously. How are you prepared to jot that down? Do you use the memo feature on your phone? Are you a notebook gal?
Both. I use, when I write my lyrics, I use a notebook, and then I'll transfer everything to either, a Word doc or into my phone. I keep all my ideas on a list in my notes that's pinned called Song Ideas. So whenever I'm sitting, something comes to me, I just write it down, even if I don't think it's going to become something. And then I also use the voice memo for lyrics, for melodies, for things like that. And lately I've been keeping a thing called Words I Like, because I read that Taylor Swift has a list of words she likes. And I just thought that's a cool thing to do, because sometimes when you're stuck, when you're writing a song, you're like, let me go to my list of words I like, and maybe there's something in there that could inspire.
Hey, do you Wordle?
I do. Drives me crazy. I Wordle, I spelling bee. Have you heard about Nerdle?
No, what is
Wordle,
it?
Except for math.
Ooh, I like that.
You have to come up with the equation. It's crazy. It really will melt your brain, but yeah.
Gotta keep it working.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, before I let you go, rock stars and breakfast. What did you have for breakfast?
I didn't eat breakfast today.
You skipped it, Rita?
No, and I never skip breakfast, but I had a bunch of Zooms this morning, and then I had to come straight to the set. And so I didn't have breakfast. I had 2 decaf cappuccinos that I made myself.
So you have the jitters.
No, decaf.
Okay.
I only drink decaf. Isn't that weird?
For shame. Yeah,
I know.
it works for you.
I know, exactly.
Well, everyone, it's Rita Wilson. If you want to catch her out on the road, a great place to start is Beach Life, May 13th through 15th. She will be out there. Obviously, you can check out all of Rita's socials to see where she'll pop up next. Rita, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Katie. See you guys all out there.
Yay.
Bye.
Hey there. Thanks for watching AXS TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and do all the good stuff. And make sure you leave a comment below. I don't know, just let us know what your favorite AXS TV show is, or who your favorite bands are, and what artists you're into, or just say hi, man. I like to be told hi. We love hearing from you. That's the point, all right? Keep it coming.